Because we're in June, it's time to harvest those first early potatoes that we're putting. Or new potatoes, as we've always known them. Unfortunately, I didn't plant any this year. The only ones I did were second earlies. Because you get a bigger potato that stores a little bit longer. So we skipped the first earlies this year anyway. But I have done them usually every year in past. And I did get a question from one of his followers called Anne regarding the past, asking me how I came to do what I'm doing and why I started this channel in the first place. And I'll give you a quick version of that, because nobody likes a waffler. I started up a little shop in this local village, obviously selling nothing but plants, vegetable plants and flowers. And the reason I started that is because there were lots of places that sold flowers, but hardly anywhere at that time sold vegetable plants. So I used to sell all these little pots of tomatoes, packs of cabbages and cauliflowers and lettuce. And they were really popular because you couldn't get them anywhere else. So you mix in a few flowers with that and you've got a steady, if only small, little business. And we all know that plants don't make a lot of money, but it's something rather than nothing, which is a saying I use quite often. And I started that little shop and I started growing the plants based on the fact that when I was a child, I was always brought up around allotments. My dad had an allotment, my granddad had an allotment, and every single weekend without fail, weather allowing, we'd spend down on that allotment. And I remember planting rows and rows of potatoes and helping out with all different kinds of jobs. And these are days before Xbox, so there weren't much or anything else to do. But this was far more enjoyable, and I just carried on doing it as I reached adulthood. And wherever I lived, because we have moved quite a few times, I've always made sure we've had at least one greenhouse so that I can grow something every year. And it doesn't matter on what scale you grow things. You grow things to your own needs. Just one greenhouse, a few containers, one raised bed were plenty to get a decent harvest every single year. Unfortunately, when that pandemic hit, everything got shut down. And you may or you may not know that if you had a little shop back then, you weren't allowed to open that shop, but you still had to pay your rent. And who can afford to do that? So as a result of that, I had to close the shop. And it never recovered because that went on for 2 years and we never got that back on its feet. So I moved here. There was a bigger garden, there was less overheads, and I just got more greenhouses. And I decided to just turn this into a working garden so that we could eat for free virtually all year long when it comes to things like fruit and vegetables. And so far that's working. But while I was doing that, I decided why not create a YouTube channel so people can follow what you do and maybe start up themselves. And that's why I started this channel. And that was January last year. But we didn't really post any videos until February, so it's not been going for very long at all. But we've got a really good following, which I've appreciated from day one. And it basically gives me every reason to keep going with this channel, knowing that other people are getting something from it. But back to these first early potatoes. I might not have a first early potato reveal to do, but I have got a snippet from last year when I did plant just a couple of seed potatoes in my first container. And it just so happens to be one of the first videos that we put on this channel. So I think that's worth another look. Although back then, I didn't speak on videos or show my face. I'd just shown you an end result of something that we'd done. So if you've not seen it before, have a look at this video and see what we got from two little...
Doing crazy dreaming.
good result for the small container that we got it in. And just only using those 2 small seed potatoes, we got a big basket full of them. But also back then, I didn't have any of these. So I never weighed that to see what we got. But you could see it was still a pretty good amount. So hopefully, Anne, that's answered your questions for you. Anyway, I've got a few more things that I need to get done today. So I'll crack on and get those done. I'm pretty sure this year that the lack of first early potatoes isn't really going to matter. It was brilliant to see that back on that video when we first started this channel. But we have also got lots and lots of second earlies and main crop potatoes to go through this year. And last time I counted them, we did 20 separate containers. Because we've not put one single potato in that ground outside this year. We've kind of learnt as lesson with that, in this area anyway. It just doesn't work. They get too much damage, and they're too susceptible to even more damage from those winds we've been out there in open all the time. So that's why we've done all those potato plantings this year in containers. And if we get as good a results as that video you've just seen, I'll be more than happy. Because we have got quite a mixture of different varieties this year. The one we did only yesterday, they were Kestrel, and although we didn't think we wouldn't get much from those, we got a little bit of summer. But we've also got things like Sarpo this year. We've got pink fir apple, which is a very strange looking potato because it's long and thin. We've got more Kestrels, we've got Nicola, so plenty of potato reveals to come on this channel between now and end of season. Before I go, thank you very much to everybody that joined this channel at the beginning and is still part of this channel to this day, and to everybody else that's also jumped on board and decided to follow along with everything that we do in this garden all the way through the year. You know it's much appreciated, and without you, there's no me. So thank you very much for that. And if this is your first visit to this channel, hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Take care.